Hello my friends, this is Becky. Welcome back to my channel. On my channel, I am journeying through my 40s, working oh so hard to get my poop in a group. I am calling this my good midlife crisis. In order to do this, I have been working on my physical, my financial, and my mental health. And today we are going to be setting up my July of 2024 budget using the Budget by Paycheck book by the Budget Mom as a part of my financial health journey. If you are new, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me and checking out my channel. I hope that you find this interesting, educational, helpful, useful on your own journey. And if you are not new, thank you so much for coming back and checking out another one of my videos. I hope that is because that you found my last one that you watched useful or at least entertaining. And I am so glad that you came back and joined me. July is my birthday month, y'all. I am going to be 44 years old on the 10th of July, and that means that I have been on this journey to try to group my poop for about 4 years. That may seem shocking when you see, oh, sorry, I am moving, y'all. That may seem shocking when you see how much money I don't have, but if you go back and watch my very first videos, you will see how far I have come. And I have not been making these videos for 4 years. I've only been making them for about 2 years, about two and a half years-ish. I think I started in February of 2022. But how far I have come in that amount of time really blows my mind. And a lot of that is thanks to y'all for your support, for your encouragement, for your ideas, your suggestions, just the accountability of having y'all there and knowing that I'm gonna have to tell y'all what I've done is a big help. So thank you so much for all of that. And I just wanted to put that out there as an acknowledgement as I am coming up on a birthday. So thank you so much for everyone for being here, whether you are new or whether you have been here since the beginning, because I know that some of y'all watching have been here since the beginning, since February of 2022 when I posted my very first video. So thank you to all of you. That being said, I forgot to put payday stickers on here, y'all. I just realized that I don't have payday stickers on here. My paydays in July are going to be on the 5th and the 19th, but this is a 5-week budget for me, July is. So my first week of July actually started this past Friday, which was yesterday. And if you watch my YNAB budget with me, because I digitally cashed up my budget, my budget, that's how I do my actual week-to-week budgeting, is digitally. And I post those videos on Fridays. If you watch that video, that was my first week of July. So that actually goes from the 28th through the 4th. So that's my first week of July. And then my second week will go from the 5th through the 11th, the 12th through the 18th, the 19th through the 25th, and then the 26th through the 1st of August is my last week of July's budget. And again, my paydays are the 5th and the 19th. I have the 9th through the 12th off because I had booked a campsite to go camping for my birthday, because my birthday is the 10th, but I'm not sure that I am going to do that. I do still have the campsite booked, so I can still do that as long as I can find someone to watch my dogs. But I may now, as long as, again, providing I can find someone to watch my dogs, I may now go on a road trip instead. So I'm not exactly sure what I am doing. I am off of work those days, though. So we'll see. My plans are kind of up in the air as to what I am going to be doing. Obviously, the 4th of July, my office is closed, my whole company is closed. I work for healthcare, so thank you to the healthcare providers who are going to be working and providing care to patients and people in need, because just because it's a holiday does not mean people stop being sick and stop needing care. So thank you to people who work on those days, whether you be a first responder, a home health provider, a doctor, or what do we call them? Frontline workers, people who go in and work retail jobs because we're off of work and we like to shop. I work in healthcare, but I am not a healthcare provider. I work I work from home, but I do what's considered a back office job. So I am not essential, and I can I can have off on that day. So I am off on the 4th of July. And, but I do have to work on the 5th of July, so, but then I'm off most of the next week. And then I'm also off the week of the 22nd through the 26th. This is my church camp week. Every last full week of July, I go to the property that my church owns out in the hill country of Texas and spend the week out there. We call it camping. We have cabins. I mean, some people bring RVs, some people do stay in tents. Those are mostly like the young people. I don't stay in a tent. I'm going to be staying in a cabin, but it is camping, and that is going to be there. So I'm basically taking off like July from work. I'm using all of my PTO and taking off the month of July from work. So, but I am excited. So July is going to be a pretty awesome month for me mentally. I hope. That is my plan. Financially, I don't have a lot going on other than potentially this road trip. If I go on a road trip, if I go camping, it probably won't be that expensive. We already have all the camping equipment, like the tent and the air mattresses and everything I would need to go camping. I would just need to buy food. And then I have celiac if you're new. So I do try to bring some of my own food with me when I go to the campgrounds, just because they do have some gluten-free foods there, but I'm also a picky eater, and so I like to bring some of my own foods in case I don't like what's being served. That's just my own preference. So but other than that, I really don't have a lot of expenses happening this month, but I am preparing for Ice Ball, which is in August, which is the Big Brother, Big Sister of Central Texas fundraiser gala that happens every year, and I attend with my friends. So whatever I don't spend this month will hopefully be able to be saved for that event next month. And that's it. That's all I have going on in July, which is a lot, but that's it. And then these stickers, if you normally watch my budget setups, you know I normally buy my stickers from Life in Envelopes, but as a way to try to save some money toward my cruise in 2025, I have booked a cruise from Spain to Italy in 2025, and I'm trying to save some money to fund that without having to put it on a credit card. Well, it's on a credit card, but like without having to like have interest and make it debt. I am trying to cut down where I can, and one of the ways that I found I could cut down is not buying stickers from Life in Envelopes every month, which makes me very sad because I love her stickers. They are absolutely beautiful, and I will still link her shop below if you want to buy her stickers. Here's the last set that I bought. This was her mystery kit, and they normally have like budget and expense trackers. You can see how I've not been tracking expenses in here. I've been so busy and falling behind. But they're beautiful and I love them. But as a way of saving some money, I have not done that. I went to Walmart and I found these washies. This was just a set of washi tape that I found. It's from the Home Edit, which is why it's all rainbow themed. But it's beautiful, and I love pastel rainbows. Like, that's just a thing I set this up with pastel rainbow. I just really like pastel colors, and that just tended to be something that I liked anyway, so this fit right into my color palette preference anyway. And then these other stickers were from a kit that I had purchased at the end of last year, also at Walmart, just from just like a sticker set that I purchased. So I can't really link those, but I'll see if I can find a version of them. Speaking of stickers and linking, I am today working on the wish list that Yaz and other people have asked me to set up for my channel, with a wish list of items for my channel. And also, Yaz, I did see your suggestion. I haven't responded to comments from yesterday's video yet, but I did see it this morning when I logged on. Make it a birthday wish list too. I will try to sneak in a couple of items in there that aren't necessarily for the channel, but there's just not, I mean, once you're in your 40s, there's just not a whole lot of stuff that I want or need that's like for myself, because I don't know, it's just not a lot of stuff I want or need, but I'll see what I can find. Like, most of the stuff I want or need are like fun stuff like stickers, but I'll see. I'm gonna work on that today too. Get my website updated, which if you're new and you're just now checking this out, y'all, I have a website that I built and it's a little bit out of date because I've been super busy. And oh my goodness, I promise I'm not going to be hitting this camera the whole time. I'm going to move. And it still has Mother's Day links on there, but today my goal is to try to get that updated. Like get this video filmed, updated, and then work on the website. That's my goal for today. Anyway, let's move on, shall we? That website will be linked in the description box below as well. So I'm gonna move on because this is a 5-week month. So let's get right into week 1 of this budget. And here we go. Okay, here we go for July week 1, which again goes from June the 28th through July the 4th. I was hoping to roll over at least $1,000. I ended up rolling over a little bit more. As I said, I've already done this budget because it started yesterday. So I actually rolled over slightly more, and then I earned a little bit of interest on one of my accounts. So I know that it's a little bit more, and then I'm hoping before I close this budget out, I'll have some cash back on at least one of my cards. So this budget isn't closed out because it doesn't end until next Thursday. But this is what I have so far for the week. I know that the bills that I have for the first week are going to be Progressive, which is my mom's car insurance, and Geico, which is my car insurance for the 2 cars that I have in my name, which should both be paid off by the end of this year, y'all. Super excited. And then I have my YouTube Premium, which is due on the 4th. That is $15.14. Then every month I set aside $50 for my mom's utilities that I don't know exactly when they will be, the tank will go out and refill it, but I did check. I have an app that allows me to check what the status of her propane tank is, and it is, what did I say, 42% full, and they don't send the truck out until it's at 20%. And seeing that we live in Texas and it's July almost, and it's in the 90s every day, the only gas she's using is for cooking and like taking showers, so she's not going to be using that much gas. We should be good until September, October. So I'm hoping to have enough time to fill this up to about the $500, $600 mark, which is where I want it. It's at $375 after I put this $50 in there, so we should be good. And then I put $100 a month into my gifts and giving category to be able to spend on other people. Whatever is left at the end of the month in this category, I will roll into my donations, which is a part of this overall category. It's one of the subcategories to use toward Iceball. And I don't have a lot of birthdays in July. My birthday's in July, but that's not for that category. So that's that. And then that is a total of $550. So from that $1,000 that I had budgeted to roll into July, that left me $444.50. Then I have my weekly envelopes. For those of you who are new and not familiar with my channel, this would be, if I were a cash budgeter, these would be what I would put into my purse and carry around with me. Not a cash budgeter, but I digitally cash stuff these into envelopes, but digitally. I give myself $40 a week for dining out, $100 a week for groceries, $10 a month, these are weekly, $40 a week for dining out, $100 a week for groceries, $10 a week for fun money, $25 a week for coffee. I use that to refill my Dutch Brothers app. $80 a week for ecclesial expenses. This is my church donation. $60 for what I put in the actual bag as a donation. And then $20 I set aside for a meal if we go out for a meal afterwards as a group. If we do not go out, then I just roll that $20 back into my budget. I don't use it. It doesn't go toward my other dining out. It doesn't go toward anything else. It just rolls back into my budget. So those are weekly expenses. Pet expenses is once a month. My actual budget for pet expenses is $150 a month because if you are new, I have 2 dogs and a cat, and my older dog, Emmett, who is 10 years old now, was just recently diagnosed with diabetes. So I have to feed him special food. It's not necessarily like special food. We're not doing medicated food or anything, but it is different food from my other dog. So where I used to buy one giant dog of bag food, giant bag of dog food a month because both of my dogs are large. Emmett is a German Shepherd mix and Chad is a Great Pyrenees mix, so they're both large dogs. I used to buy 1 large bag of dog food a month, and now I have to buy 2 large bags of dog food a month because Emmett needs different food than Chad does. So that increased my pet expenses, plus Emmett is now on insulin, so that also increased the expenses. And I still have a cat, so I have to buy cat food too. So, but I only have $100 this week, and then I'll put the next 50 in next week when I get a paycheck. Household expenses, again, this is only half of it. I do $100 a month. Household expenses are basically things you would buy at a grocery store that are not food and are not pet related. So this would be for shampoo and conditioner, for laundry detergent and dishwasher detergent and things like that, household cleaning items. And then stuff I forgot to budget for. I just set $20 aside in case I go slightly over in one of my categories, and I need to just pull money from another category. I can cover it from here first before I start pulling from other categories. That is an envelope total of $425, leaving me $19.50. I'm not going to put anything anywhere else. I'm just going to roll that into week 2. So let's go check out week 2. Week 2 will have that rollover of $19.50, and then I should get a paycheck of $17.18.90. That is an estimate. I am salaried, but for some reason, instead of $17.18.90, some weeks I get $17.18.91, and some weeks I get $17.18.89, and I don't know why they do that. Sometimes, and then for a little while they were balancing out and giving me $17.18.90 every other week, and then they went back to doing it the other way. So I don't know how it's going to be. And then I'm supposed to be getting a raise in July. Historically, the raises have always gone into effect in October, but they said they're going into effect in July this year. But I will believe it when I see it, so I'm not counting that in my budget. Plus, I don't know exactly what it'll be. They told me what my base rate is going to be, but then taxes and all my deductions, and so I'm just gonna continue budgeting what I know my paychecks have been until I see the increase. Okay, so the only bill that I have is my Aflac bill. That comes out on the 5th, and that is for my supplemental insurance for my cancer policy. That is $37.57, and that is my only bill for this week. Oh, again, this week goes from July the 5th through July the 11th, so this will be the week that I am not here. So I'm putting all my envelopes in here the same, but I don't know exactly that everything will be the same. That's a bill total of $37.57, leaving me $1,700.83. My envelopes. Again, dining out, groceries, fun money, coffee money, and ecclesial expenses, always the same every week. $40 to dining out, $100 to groceries, $10 to fun, $25 to coffee, $80 to ecclesial expenses. Self-care and gas. I fill these every time I get a paycheck and only when I get a paycheck. So I put $25 into my self-care category and $25 into my gas category. And I just let this self-care build until I spend it. It's kind of like a sinking fund, but it's not like toward a specific date that I need this money by. It's just I put $25 in here every time I get a paycheck. And then when I want to go get my nails done, or if I want to get a haircut, or if I want to buy something pretty for myself, like some flowers or some perfume or something, I'll pull money out of this category and use it as I want to. And then I'll fill it back up. Gas is gas for my car, and $25 every 2 weeks is normally plenty. I was driving a little bit more for a while, and so I did use $30 every couple of weeks, but now I still have most of my tank of gas, and I'm gonna get paid in 2 weeks, and next week, so I should be fine. Here's the other $50 for the pet expenses for the month, and the other $50 for the household expenses for the month. And now I'm going to start doing my sinking funds. I put $85 every month toward my holiday giving. This is for my Christmas fund. And I have, yes, already started Christmas shopping because I like to buy things for people for the holidays as I see them. And I have mentioned in my wine videos and in other videos, I don't know if y'all noticed, I talk a lot. Um, how I have found like handmade one-of-a-kind items as I was at the Renaissance Fair and as I was at my like town's festival. They had an Old Town Street Festival and there were vendors there and they make like little items and some of them are handmade, some of them are like super individually crafted, and I find them and I buy them, and you can only find them at these events, and these events are only once a year, and so it's really nice to have the money set aside ahead of time to be able to buy these items when you see them, because you're not going to find them again, or at least not conveniently. You might have to go find their website and you're going to have to pay shipping. It's just nice to be able to buy them while you're there and then have, provided you have the room to store them, which thankfully I do. So anyway, I start saving. I save all year long for holiday giving, and then when I find something, I can buy it. That is an envelope total of $490, leaving me $1,210.83 to pull up into my sinking fund section. So these sinking funds, I set aside $50 every month for car maintenance. My car has over 100,000 miles on it. He is getting to be an old man, and I'm trying to make him last because I don't want another car payment. I have used, my car's name is Derek because he is blue steel, so Derek Leander is what I named him after. I had paid him off, and then I used him as collateral for my debt consolidation loan. So technically my car's paid off, but I consider him as not paid off right now because he is the collateral for my debt consolidation loan, but he will be paid off again, Lord willing, by the end of this year. And I want to make him last as long as I possibly can so I don't have a car payment. Clothes, I set aside $25 every month for new clothes, which I am using as I set it aside because I am on a health journey and I have lost over 50 pounds, so my clothes just don't fit me. All my clothes that I was wearing this time last year are too big for me, which is a very good problem to have, but it is still a problem. So even the clothes I bought specifically last year because I had lost weight don't fit me. Some of them fit me, they just don't fit me very well, which I can handle, but some of them legit do not fit me and I'm having issues with it. And so I'm trying to replace only what I have to replace at this point because I don't want to spend more money than I have to, but at the same time it's like I need new clothes. Vacation, I put in $25 toward just to set aside for that, just trying to get ready for next year. Passport renewal, for when my passport needs to be renewed, that's only $1.77 a month. Mission Lane is one of my credit cards. It has an annual fee that is $5.36. Amazon Prime, my roommate Nathan and I split this. We are grandfathered in from when back in the day you used to be able to share an Amazon Prime account. We have had this for a very, very long time. And we can still split it because we never canceled our account. So I pay half of it, and then my half is $6.27 a month. Well, we pay it annually, but I set aside $6.27 a month so that when it's due, I will have my half ready. I also have a Walmart Plus membership. I am not sure that I will keep this next year. I might, but I want to be ready to pay for it if I do decide to renew it. And so that is $9.23 a month. Planet Fitness is my gym. I pay a monthly membership fee, and then they have a once a year annual membership fee that is due in August. So I set aside $7.03 a month to pay that annual fee. PowerSuite is my editing software that I use. That is $14.37 a month. Again, something I pay annually, but I set aside a little bit every month so that when the annual fee is due, I have it ready. And then Costco is my Costco membership. I put aside $7.50, so when it is due, I have that money. That is $151.53. There are more sinking funds. They just don't fit on this page, so we'll do them next week. That leaves me $1,059.30 to pull down to my savings. I have an emergency fund. I set aside $52 every month. I wish it was more, but right now I have too many other things going on, so $52 a month is what I can do right now. I have two great nephews. Baby Joe is 1 year old, and baby Jet is, 7 months old? Y'all, I've lost track of time. He's not 7 months old because that would mean he was born in January, and he was born at the very end. Basically, he was born in November. So, he's almost 9 months old. Oh my goodness, y'all. So he's 9 months old. I'm trying to save their age. And I know Jet is not a year old yet, but I don't want to save 90 cents. So I'm saving $1. I'm still saving $1 for him. So they're each getting $1 every week, which turns into $2 every paycheck for me. So that's $2 every paycheck for each of my great nephews. Joe will be 2 in October. Once he turns 2, well, it's October 31st, so it's basically November. Once he turns 2, I will start saving $2 every week. So this will go up to $4 a paycheck instead of $2 a paycheck. And then I set aside $25 every single paycheck for taxes. This is in case I owe anything at the end of the year, also for tax prep. Because I am monetized on YouTube now, and so I am going to have to pay somebody to help me prepare my taxes. I don't want to screw that up. That is a savings total of $81, leaving me $978.30 to roll into week 3 of July. Okay, week 3 goes from July the 12th through the July the 18th. I'm rolling over that $978.30. Y'all, I remembered to put Seth's money in here this month. If you watch my June setup, I've totally forgot to add this money in, and so that was interesting. Seth pays me for the second car that I mentioned at the beginning of this budget setup. When I was making horrible financial decisions, financed a car for my niece. Neither of us could afford that car. And so when she moved out, I was in a very precarious situation. Fortunately, a friend, church member of mine, agreed to take over payments. He needed a car at that same time, and so he pays me every month for the car payment and also for his portion of the car insurance. So he pays me, and then I make the payments for the insurance and the car payment. This car will also be paid off this year, Lord willing. It should be paid off in October, so we are so close. We are so close to paying off both of these cars. That is an income total for this week of $1,438.30. The 2 bills that I have this week are my OneDrive. This is for my Microsoft 360 subscription and extra storage on my Microsoft OneDrive. And then also I set aside extra money. That's like $7.57. And then I put $10 in here and leave the extra money in here as a buffer for my HP Instant Ink subscription. For when I print, because I do print this. I use the digital version of the Budget Moms Budget by Paycheck book, and I print it out every month. So some months I go over the 15-page maximum that I can print for free. And when I do, I have to pay $1 for every 10 pages. And so I leave a couple of extra dollars in here as a buffer. And then here is my actual monthly gym membership fee. That is $27.11. So that is a bill total of $37.11 for this week, leaving me $1,401.19. I only have my regular weekly envelopes, dining out for $40, groceries for $100, fun for $10, ecclesial for $80, and coffee for $25. That is an envelope total of $255, leaving me $1,146.19. I have 2 sinking funds that just did not fit on that last page. So I have my car registration. This is to cover my vehicle inspection and registration that is due in October. That is $12.50. And then Find Me Gluten Free. Again, as I mentioned previously, I have celiac, and this is an app that I pay an annual subscription for because it really does help me when I am out and about, even in my local area, because I live in the Austin, Texas area, and there are so many restaurants and so many little like niche areas, and it's fun to explore and find new restaurants, and this helps me find ones that are safe for me to eat at, and so I really like this app. And $275 a month is just, it's very worth it for me. That is a sinking fund total of $15.25, leaving me $1,130.94. I'm going to roll that into I didn't write the week number on here, but week 4 of July. I don't have any extra debt or extra savings for this week, so let's go to week 4. All right, week 4 goes from July the 19th through July the 25th. This will be the week that I am at my church camp. So, again, all of my envelope totals may or may not be accurate, because I will have to buy some groceries, because part of this week and then again part of the next week I will be at home, and I will be buying some of the groceries for when I am at because I take some food with me. but not all of it will be there. And I will dine out at least once or twice because we'll go into town and I'll eat a couple of meals with some friends because people come in from all over the place to come to this camp. And so we spend some time, but it's not going to be 100% accurate. So, but I'll just adjust as I go. That's one of the beauties of YNAB, because if you don't watch my YNAB, if you're not familiar with YNAB, you should check out one of those videos. And if that looks interesting to you, you should check out YNAB. If digital cash budgeting, digital budgeting is at all interesting to you, I highly recommend it. Y'all, YNAB is just absolutely amazing and fantastic and has saved my life. And I can't even talk. I cannot even stress to you how much I love that app. But let's get back to this one. So I am rolling over that $1,130.94 from week 3. I should have another paycheck, again, just counting it as $1,718.90 for an income total of $2,849.84. I have my Mattress Firm bill due. That is for my mattress, obviously, and that is $80. I have Optimum. That is my internet. That is due on the 23rd. That is $65.45. And then my debt consolidation is due on the 25th. That is $167. That is the minimum payment. That is not what I pay, but that is the minimum payment that will be auto-drafted on the 25th. That is a bill total of $312.45. That leaves me $2,537.39 to pull down to my envelopes. Dining out for $40, groceries for $100, fun for $10, coffee for $25. Again, I don't know that I'm going to have coffee because I won't be near, unless they put a Dutch Brothers in Fredericksburg, which maybe they did, but they didn't the last time I was there. Ecclesial expenses, I am budgeting $0 because I will not be at my church, but I am sure that I will end up putting something into the donation because I will be at church camp, but I will figure that out. Self-care and gas each get $25 because this is a paycheck week. So that is an envelope total of $225, leaving me $2,312.39. I have no sinking funds because we've already filled those, but I do have an extra debt for my consolidation. I am going to put an extra $133. So every month, my minimum payment is that $167, and I put an extra $133 for an actual payment of $300 toward my debt consolidation loan. That is what's going to get this debt paid off by December. So my consolidation loan will be paid off by December at the latest. I think it's actually going to be paid off in November with like $30 or something left to pay off in December, and I'm just planning to pay it off in November, so it's paid off early. That's my plan. But right now, it's definitely December at the latest is what it's slated to be paid off by. So that is an extra debt total of $133, leaving me $2,179.39. And then I have my extra savings. Again, each of my great nephews is going to get their $2 set aside, and this is in my high yield savings account, so this is also gaining interest. So when they are 18, I will hand them this money, and it did the math at one point, and it's just under $18,000, but then plus whatever interest it earns. So by the time they're 18, that's not going to be a ton of money, but with some interest, you know what? It's more money than I had when I turned 18. So I am super excited to be saving for them. And then I know that their grandmother, these are my nephew's children, but their mother's mother has started saving for them as well. So I'm really happy that they're going to have hopefully a pretty good start on life. I really hope whatever they decide to do. I mean, they are 1 and not quite 1, so it's a little early to start planning their future, but it's never too early to start saving for your future. Anyway, and then taxes, again, $25 every paycheck I set aside. And that is a savings total of $29, leaving me $2,150.39 to roll into my 5th and final week of the best month of the year, also known as July. Okay, the last week of July goes from July the 26th through August the 1st. I'm rolling over that $2,150.39, and so I'm going to have to cover all of the first bills with this money because it ends on the 1st. I have my minimum payment for American Express, which is only $40. Y'all, they never raised that. So $40 is the minimum payment that will auto draft on the 26th. My Cinemark, for some reason, I put as $40, which means I have more money than I think I do, because that is not $40. It's $5.48. So this is wrong, but we already mathed it at $40, so we're leaving it. This is my movie subscription. Let's see what it actually is. It's seriously like $5.48 or something. Hang on. Looking back to what I budgeted in June. $6.48. It is $6.48 is what Cinemark actually costs. I'm going to go ahead and write that down. Okay. $6.48 is what that's actually going to cost me. Sorry about that. Hey, last month when I was doing my setup, it was like mistakes all over the place. This time all I forgot were my payday stickers, and I over budgeted Cinemark, so that's a good thing. Utilities is $120. Seth's car payment, again, this is not what we pay. It's close to what we pay, but it's not what we pay. $269.85. Rent, I budget $600, and that is actually exactly what I paid this month too, so that's why I budget that. Geico is my mom's car insurance. That is $273.61. Progressive is my car insurance, $116.75. Again, I set aside $50 a month for my mom's utilities, and then $100 a month for gifts and giving. So that is a bill total of you can't see that. $1,576.69. Again, now we know that that is a little off because I way over budgeted my Cinemark subscription, but whatever. That leaves me $573.70. I am going to come down to my envelope section. Dining out for $40, groceries for $100, fun for $10, coffee for $25, ecclesial for $80. I put my $150 for my pet expenses, and then I'm holding off on the household until the next week. Stuff I forgot to budget for $20. That leaves me, that is an envelope total of $425, leaving me $148.70. Coming up here to extra debt. Again, we make an extra debt payment towards Seth's car of $55.42. Now that seems like not a lot of money, and that is because it is not a lot of money, but what this does is get us up to the pre-refinancing amount, minimum payment of what Seth's car was before I refinanced it. So when I did my debt consolidation loan, I also refinanced Seth's car at the same place. I did it at my bank, and it didn't lower our monthly payments by very much. It lowered them by $55.42, but it cut my interest rate almost in half. It cut my interest rate from $12.99 to $6, and I can't even remember what it is, but I think it's $6.99 now or $5.99. It cut it almost in half, which significantly reduced the amount of time I was going to be paying on this loan. So it was way worth it to do this, even if it only saved us $55.42 a month. So Seth and I agreed that he would just continue to make the same payments to get it paid off that much faster. And now it's going to be paid off this year. Yay! Obviously, Lord willing, but I can't foresee anything that would prevent this, because if something happens and he can't, I'm just going to pay this off because I want this car done. And that leaves me $93.28 left in my budget anticipated right now. And as of right now, I plan to just put that all toward my American Express. Obviously, some of this may end up going toward my church donation. Some of this may end up going toward my birthday trip. This does give me a little bit of buffer room in my budget, which is why I won't make this payment until the end of the month. But as of right now, that's what I would like to do with this money. But I don't want to lock myself in and put myself in a situation where I end up just putting more money on my card. So I don't want to pay it off now and then put it back on the card. That just seems kind of pointless. The card is interest-free until May of next year. So my card will be paid off by May of next year, and I can put all of my payments toward that, and I will definitely get this card paid off before the interest starts accruing. I'm not worried about that. I just don't like seeing the balance on it right now. So, but anyway, if I can make that payment, fantastic. If I use that money toward my birthday or toward putting a donation in my church, for my church camp, then that's also fantastic because that means I will have done those things. So I'm not worried about it either way. Anyway, that is my July setup. I know that was a little bit longer than my normal setup because 1, I talk a lot, and 2, it's a 5-week month. But I am super excited for July. I am happy to be home. I am happy to be feeling better. If you are only watching my setup videos and don't normally follow me, I was up in Washington, and then when I came home, I got sick with the horrid COVID virus, and I was sick for like a week. I'm still not 100%, but I am so much better. So I have not posted a video for a while. But I am back and I am happy to be chatting with y'all again. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for your support, and also happy July. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up on your way out. Check out my website. Hopefully it will be updated. If it's not by the time you have checked this out, check it out in a couple of days because I'm working on it today. That's my plan. All right, I love you. I will talk to y'all later. And okay, bye guys.